Yeah.
Hi, KD families. It's great to see you. Thanks for tuning in to see what we do. I feel like you kind of already have seen the room when you came to visit with your children the first time. You saw how it's set up. We are going to try and move around the room sometimes to do centers. And it's already a proven fact now for sure with 5-year-olds that they cannot really social distance well. So they are definitely moving around the room because they just can't stay in that square all day. We're doing our best to wear our mask and keep those pulled up. The kids are pretty good about it. And I try to have individual supplies as much as possible. But like I looked over last week and somebody was helping someone with a puzzle. And to be honest, that's what we want in the world. We want them to help each other and do things together. So we'll try to keep using that hand sanitizer all the time. So when we are sharing a supply or whatever, they are cleaning their hands constantly. We also will try to do individual supplies as much as possible. I'm just going to give you a little overview of kindergarten. You should have this packet that I'm sending home, and it just we're going to work through this quickly. First of all, this is my 8th year at St. Mary's School. I was an aide for 1 year, and this actually maybe it's my 9th year because this is my 8th class teaching. I went to Xavier University. I grew up in Indianapolis. I went to Xavier University. And then I stayed after I graduated and got a job here. I taught in Lakota for 4 years, and I taught in Wyoming City Schools for 4 years, stayed home with my kids for a little while, and now we are back at St. Mary's. I have an 8th grader here, a 7th grader here, and a junior at Walnut Hills High School. I cannot believe I have someone that old. I can't possibly be that old. My husband actually went to school at St. Mary's, so we have long time ties to St. Mary's School. We're very lucky this year to have Mrs. Ernst and Mrs. Conti with us. I think you met them on those days where we came to the classroom. They have been in kindergarten and working with St. Mary's School for a long time, and we're super blessed to have them. Obviously, my philosophy when it comes to school is the most important, they need to feel safe. Then they'll feel happier. When you're happier, you'll learn more. So we want to create a safe and happy workplace for them. They may not love everything we do. Sometimes it's work, but hopefully in general, it's a great experience because if you're not happy in kindergarten, it's going to be really hard to do 4th and 5th grade. Okay. So we work hard to make this year a happy year for them, despite the differences. Luckily, we know more about those differences than they do. Our daily routine kind of consists of these basic elements. We do a calendar in the morning, talking about a lot of math concepts of tens frames and groups of 10 and writing the date and graphing the weather and patterns. So all of those things go with our calendar in the morning. We will always do some reading work. Right now we're doing whole class reading work where we'll be talking about the 5 basic decoding strategies. We'll start hitting those hard in October, the first one, and I'll always put that in my newsletter on Sunday nights. We do a letter of the week every week. This week, obviously, will be the letter A, and we'll be working on both sounds of A. So while we won't only do A this week, that'll be our focus. We clearly are writing sounds from, when we write words, sounds from all the letters, but we have one focus per week. We do learning centers in the morning most days, and that is when they are doing activities that go with each letter to reinforce that. Writing activities, math activities, science activity. We go to lunch every day at 11:15. Then we have 2 small recesses throughout the day right now. Should we go back to normal schedule? I'll let you know when that happens. We always will do some writing. We do math. We try to relate our math to our letter in some way when we can. We actually use the Big Ideas Math series, but we don't use the workbook that goes with it. We've made up our own activities to go with those same concepts that are in the book. We try to use the vocabulary that's from the book also so that they're ready for it in 1st grade. We try to end the day, most days, with some exploring centers. We would typically call those our play centers. I've had to vary them this year because of their inability to move around the room, but we are still doing them in a modified way. The special schedule is also listed on here. PE days, please wear gym shoes. Your communication, the folder goes home every night. If you could look at their folder, take out their papers, talk about it with them, that would be great. Maybe not every night, but some nights discuss their work with them. If you have notes for me, write it on the folder, and I will try and write back to you on that, or send me an email. I often check email, and I've even put my phone number on here to give me a text if you keep that within not too late at night range. All right. Also, every Sunday night, I send out an email with notes for the week. Some Sundays will be earlier, some Sundays may be a little later, depending on our family activities. Parties this year, our parties are currently suspended because of our COVID situation. So we're going to figure out a way to celebrate those. Stay tuned as we get closer to them. And maybe by the end of the year, we can have a normal party. God help us. Snacks, if you could please pack a small healthy snack every day. If you put it in the front pocket of the backpack, that is great because it's easy for them to grab it because we're always doing stuff while we have our snack. And we usually eat those in the afternoon. Birthdays, we cannot do birthday treats. We can't send anything in. We're going to celebrate. I am hopeful at the end of the year, I want to have one big birthday party with ice cream floats and things like that. So maybe we can do a big celebration at the end. Art smocks, we do paint a lot. We try to have the kids get shirts on when we're using that tempera paint, but sometimes it just doesn't work. We try very hard. I don't know why we wear white shirts. It's kindergarten, there's no hope for us with that. If you could label everything, label everything, because they drop everything. They're like, it's not mine. I don't know, that's not my sweater, even though it's literally on their body. So if you could put their names on everything, it saves us a lot of time that we could use for other things. Everybody's been really patient during dismissal. Thank you so much. As you can see, I keep my line. I want to see who each child is going with, and it's even a little bit more of a challenge this year with the mask. So thank you for being patient with that. Homework comes home on Wednesday. It's just, right now, it's just the letter page. If you help your child, if your child's ready, let them write the words on their own. I don't care if they don't get all the sounds. If they want to write it on their own, that's awesome. If your child's struggling, have them write the beginning sound and you finish the word, or have them do the beginning sound and the ending sound. Okay, it can be differentiated to meet your child's level. The second half of the year, hopefully, we'll be able to send reading books home. And not all children will have all levels. Have the same reading book because we're all reading at different places. And I believe for kindergarten instruction, it's important for children to read on their level. If they're reading too high, they will feel frustrated. If they're always reading too low, they will not grow. So we will not all read on the same level. We don't make a big deal about that. We talk about how we're all in different places, but that will happen starting the second half of the year. I'm even hopeful that maybe by that point we can have volunteers for centers. Stay tuned for that. Normally I send home a calendar with dates for the year. The only dates are the school calendar. You already have them. Unfortunately, we have no fun dates to put on there. We'll just have to make a little fun every day. Like I said before, we're working hard on the social distancing. It's not easy for us, but we are doing well with the mask. We try and wash supplies and sanitize the room the best we can, but we are children and we are social, and that is part of our growing and learning. The last thing too is word wall words. You will notice in October, I'll start sending home our 2 word wall words per week. Mrs. Ernst is going to show the word wall. We'll be having those words up in the room, and I'll send them home for you to practice as well. Those are words we have to know how to read and spell. You cannot sound them out. They just don't work that way. So we tell the children, those are the words you have to memorize. If you can practice them at home, that's great too. And of course, most important, read to your child when you can. I know some nights are hard and you're tired and they're tired, it doesn't work, but read when you can, because that's our goal is in the year. We want our children to be readers. All right. Thank you so much for everything you're doing to keep us going, to support us. We really appreciate it. Always reach out if you have questions, because I had to go through this really quickly. Email me if you have a question or give me a call. Thank you for sharing your children with us. We love seeing them every day. It seems like a really fun group. All right. Thank you so much. How long was that word?